Intercommunicability is lacking in the current cryptocurrency environment. Your BTC, ETH, ADA, DOT can't effectively communicate and translate with one another, not to mention thousands of other projects out there. The current solution is for a bridge to be created within different blockchains. This presents massive problems in efficiency because every project would have to build bridges to every other project, not to mention that several hacks have targeted these bridges, so they're not very secure. The solution enters Quant Network. Their proposed solution to this problem is for there to be a unifying layer on top of an overledger, acting as a connecting agent between the various cryptocurrencies. This would allow projects compatible with the overledger to transact without the need of bridges and could bring many new projects online to the public at lightning speed. If this is your first time at this channel, I want to thank you for coming to the Crypto Andy channel, where I cover cryptocurrency projects, news, the latest updates, and much, much more. The information I share is for educational purposes only and should not be confused for financial advice. I strongly encourage you to do your research and use the links I have provided in the video description to help you. I would encourage you to like and subscribe to the video below so you can be notified for future videos. Let's get started. So, first things first, what is Quant Network? As previously stated, it's a tech project aiming to solve the fragmentation issue being handled by bridges. That being said, they don't have their own blockchain and don't plan to have one. The project's goal is to be a cryptocurrency operating system. Also of note is that the project itself is not open source and its technology has been patented, which is quite the outlier in the crypto environment. This makes Quant Network more of a traditional tech company with proprietary software than anything else, similar to an Instagram, similar to a Facebook, similar to a platform of that nature. To quote the white paper, the fast-paced environment of distributed ledger technology lacks seamless intercommunicability internal among ledgers or crypto projects, such as between Bitcoin, between Ethereum, between DOT, between ADA, and also externally with existing networks that are centralized. From a technological perspective, the fact that distributed or decentralized applications are single ledger dependent, meaning on their own blockchain, makes it difficult to choose the appropriate distributed ledger technology for a purpose meeting technical and business requirements when considering decentralized applications, aka DApps. In simple terms, what this means is that cryptocurrency projects don't work well together and are separate. And because of that, they're hard to use in business and personal settings. Now you may be wondering, what technological innovations does Quant have to solve for this? To understand that at a high level, we need to understand what the Overledger allows you to do and the Overledger network. Similar to Windows, Mac OS, or Android, the Overledger sits between the underlying blockchain infrastructure and the applications that run on it. Similar to how Windows 10 sits between you and Microsoft Word, Google Chrome, your VPN, and many other programs that you use on a daily basis. In that same context, the Overledger allows for multi-chain applications called maps. The maps are the end product that would allow you to transact, send tokens, buy NFTs, and much more on any project using the Overledger. This is an integration among blockchains that is lacking currently and is the solution provided by the Overledger. If you have dabbled in crypto, you know there is a learning curve a person goes through when you're first learning about it. First, learning how to send and receive payments, opening an exchange account, securing your crypto in a wallet. If you send crypto to the wrong unsupported wallet, the crypto can be lost forever, and you may need multiple wallets for a new cryptocurrency that is not supported by the wallet that you do have right now. And this also is true when using DeFi and Web3 games that require purchase using, say, Solana, which I was recently doing, Solana tokens, and you need a Soulflare wallet to purchase and store your NFT if you want to play a Web3 game. All of these complications could be resolved with an operating system like the Overledger that handles it for you and makes using Web3 or DeFi a seamless, fluid process. Currently, the Overledger OS supports cryptocurrency blockchains. They support Bitcoin, Ethereum, Ripple, Stellar, EOS, IOATA, Constellation, an enterprise blockchain, JP Morgan, Quorum, and Hyperledger Fabric. Now moving on to the Quant Network. The developers on Quant Network are divided into enterprise developers like JP Morgan and community developers like people building on Ethereum like you or me. The Overledger network does not have a fixed speed. The speed is dependent on the underlying cryptocurrency blockchain and the applications you are using. So the Lightning Network speed, Ethereum speed, ADA speed, it depends on their blockchain speed. If you want to develop using the Overledger network, you pay a licensing fee. And the last I checked, it was $100 if you are a community participant, like a regular developer. You can see this by going to the quantnetwork.io, clicking on How, scrolling to the developer program, and getting started. This prompts you to create an account and pay the licensing fee. However, if you are an enterprise participant, like a JP Morgan, the licensing fee depends on network demand and company size. Apps can be personal or for corporate use. They can also be monetized on the Overledger network, and Overledger network monetization is ultimately what most people will want to do so they can interact with other integrated apps in a one layer of what they call the messenger layer. At this point, you may wonder, where does the QNT token fit into all of this? The QNT token is an Ethereum ERC20 token. QNT tokens are used to access the Overledger network and to validate transactions going through it and pay licensing fees. So the $100 I mentioned that you have to pay for the licensing fee is made by an oracle and paid in QNT. QNT worth $100. While initially saying there would be no ICO according to CEO Gilbert Verdian, Quant did end up having one, and it ended up being on the 11th of May 2018. The total amount being sold was valued at $36,900,000, and that's in QNT tokens. And that was the total amount raised, of which only $11 million were sold. So the $69 million was the total they were wanting to sell. The $11 million was what was sold. When I looked at that, they had a minimum of $5 million, so it was on the tighter side. I've seen much sales for cryptocurrency projects at ICO, initial coin offering. Funding problem right at the beginning, partly because of the way that it's a patented technology. That might have been a reason it's not your typical cryptocurrency project. If you can call it that, it's more of a platform that works with cryptocurrencies. The total amount sold looks to be about 31 million tokens on sale, with 14,400,000 plus tokens for the company reserve, for a grand total of 45 million plus tokens as the total amount of QNT tokens. Now, QNT tokens in pre-sale valued at $1. There was a token burn for Quant shortly after the ICO, and when you look up the tokenomics on places like CoinGecko, you see that the following information, and it is confusing because their ICO wasn't sold totally at the beginning, and then they had a coin burn. So those initial ICO numbers are different than what you find when you look up the max supply. What those numbers are on CoinGecko, when I looked them up very recently, like 2 weeks ago, in October 2022, QNT token has a max supply of 14,612,493, a circulating supply of 14,544,190. The market cap of QNT is 2,320,818. 24-hour trading volume is 141,571. That's how much, not QNT tokens, but that's how much QNT tokens per dollar amount are sold on a 24-hour basis. So you could probably only really sell $140,000 worth on a one day, and an amount greater than that would create selling pressure. So like a whale with $100,000, $50,000 worth of $50 million worth of quant could cause a big price volatility. I wanted to confirm this information, given that it seems like there were so many tokens being burned right at the beginning. According to Quantpedia, the total supply is 14,612,493 QNT tokens, which is the same as the CoinGecko. The circulating amount on there was 9,964,000 QNT tokens, which are available for purchase by you and I. So there is a large amount of that is in circulating for the public. And the company kept 4 million plus QNT tokens in their reserves. That initial amount, 14,000 plus amount, is, approximately 10 million tokens public circulating, 4 million plus tokens in reserves for the company. So the company is holding on to about 30% of the total supply. The remaining 70% is accessible to you and I. On Etherscan, you can see confirmations of these figures. If you see the top holdings of QNT tokens, adding up to 14 million tokens, meaning the current total supply does appear accurate. Exchanges that currently trade QNT are BINANCE, Kraken, Bittrex, HitBTC, KuCoin, Coinbase, among many others, which means that they have really broken through in terms of being traded on mainstream respectable exchanges, which was not true at the beginning of Quant. So if you had looked this up, a year ago, it would have been the case. It would have been on sketchy exchanges, and maybe you wouldn't have liked it for that reason. At this point, you may be considering purchasing QNT. So let's take a look at the price action to see if it may be worth your time. Following the sell-off, we had since November of 2021, QNT dropped along with every other altcoin right at the end of November 2021. That was the peak of the market, the peak of the stock market as well. However, since turning around in mid-June, the price has soared from $48 to a peak of $226 on September 26th, which is it was a cryptocurrency that had a really big leg up just a month ago, and it got a lot of attention as a result of that price action. A contributing factor to this is the Overledger 229 Tokenize, which to describe that is Tokenize allows you to create on the previously mentioned maps to perform advanced and innovative functions to support a wide range of use cases, including making blockchain-based payments, tokenized money on those blockchain payments, and it helps with the interoperability of NFTs. So that was a very big newsworthy event for Quant. This is at the heart of the interoperability that the Overledger seeks to bring to the cryptocurrency space. If you had bought it in June, you could have 4x by September. So it did have a big leg up. This uptrend in price was felt by a lot of altcoins since June. However, QNT was among the few that kept going strong in the late September 2022. So it had a good price action after a bunch of other cryptocurrencies did. If you're interested in Quant Network, something else that you should look into when you're considering whether you want to purchase Quant is the founders of Quant. And they have some of the best founders and insiders that I've ever seen on a crypto project. So the Quant Overledger white paper was written by Gilbert Verdian, Paolo Tassak, Colin Patterson, and Gaetano Mondelli is an Italian guy. So who created Quant? Its technology is the brainchild of the co-founder and CEO, Gilbert Verdian, who while serving at HM Treasury in the UK government in 2009, and later Chief Information Security Officer for Department of Health in Australia. So those are really big insider positions. These are some impressive titles and connections. After all, we think of money. When we think of money, we think of the UK as a banking capital for the world. It seems fitting that the possible future operating system for the entire cryptocurrency space would be developed by someone who has a banking background or is in a country that has a banking background. Also, we have Paolo Tasca, an Italian economist. He's a founding director of the Center for Blockchain Technologies in London. He also conducted early research on digital currencies at the Deutsche Bundesbank in Germany. He has also been an advisor for blockchain technology for the EU Parliament and the United Nations. So very impressive backers in the beginning for Quant. So as crypto regulations draw near, many projects will be purged, and Quant has that insider advantage that would allow it to go through the purge and remain a serious player, given the institutional and economic connections these guys bring. Quant makes a compelling case for a long-term hold because of that. There are two additional names on the white paper for Quant, Colin Patterson and Gaetano Mondelli. However, they're not as high profile as Verdian and Tascan, so not much information is known about them, but I thought that I would mention their name. Now that we have covered the founders, let's see what partnerships their connections have brought to the Quant network. So notable partnerships. Quant has had a series of partnerships over the years. The Quant network has entered into a host of partnerships since its inception in 2018. These powerful coalitions have supported the network and pushed the growth of Quant tokens. Let's look into a few of those partnerships. The Quant network has partnered with Amazon's AWS, their partner network APN, to provide flexibility, scaling, and reliability to users utilizing AWS Cloud. In addition, the network has also collided with EU's International Association for Trusted Blockchains Applications, INATBA, helping authorities implement and adopt distributed ledger technology. And this is because of BINANCE insider connections that they can do that. Moreover, Quant is also a guarantor of Pay UK, the leading retail payment authority in the United Kingdom. People and businesses use their services to receive their salaries and make online or mobile banking payments. So that's a huge in terms of positioning for Quant as a payment network. Yet another notable partnership of Quant Network is AU Cloud, which is Australia. It gives Quant the access to work with the Australian government and its Department of Defense, which is huge. Moreover, Quant has also collaborated with MIT, the US government, Intel, Juniper, and telecom and payment companies to help create the Open Digital Asset Protocol, ODAP, which is one of those international regulatory protocols. Quant has been selected as one of the 3 companies as fintech partner for financial services infrastructure, which is indeed a significant milestone, the cryptocurrency platform for any cryptocurrency to be involved with that. Quant is also heavily involved in the development of ISO 20222 standard, which will streamline international payments. Lastly, Quant partnered with the LAC chain. The LAC chain is a consortium of Latin American and Caribbean actors, which operates a public permissioned distributed technology like blockchains that spans the Latin American region and provides a governance and membership framework that respects the sovereignty of individual countries while providing a state-of-the-art technology platform across the region. One immediate benefit of this breakthrough will be a revolution in remittances and financial inclusion, where the currently cross-border banking services for people such as migrant workers or farmers are hard to access and unreliable. The LAC chain solution, supported by the Overledger, will allow foreign and or local currency to be transferred into a simple but secure manner with affordable transaction costs. If you ever try to send money overseas, you know what I'm talking about, like 20% gets eaten up by fees. The system has the potential to be expanded to the large volume market of the unbanked or other currently excluded from the financial system. So wrapping up as a final thought, in summary, Quant has a lot going for it. The partnerships previously mentioned, the connections that the founding members have made. This is bullish for Quant, and on top of that, they have an insider's advantage to surviving regulations and thriving as a result of them. Holding Quant as a long-term hodl for the next few years could be a really good idea. That being said, on the downside, the Overledger is a form of centralization, which a lot of people are not going to like. If they wanted to, they could simply cut someone off from the transactions and blacklist a wallet address. This could lead to a mass exodus from Quant and is conflicting with the decentralization that is supported, which is what cryptocurrency is supposed to be. Quant is a tech company that employs blockchain technology, but it's shrouded and hidden by patents, so it's hard to know exactly what's going on with Quant, how the technology would work. So they could do some surprising move that no one is anticipating as a result of that shroudedness. Also, other projects do similar things like Quant, and they are listed in their white paper. VirtualBox being the most similar as a box that sits on top of blockchains. But VirtualBox does one blockchain, whereas Quant does all the blockchains, ideally. Also, there's massive competition in the blockchain space, and other projects like VeChain already do enterprise solutions with the likes of Walmart and its supply chain. That being said, no one integrates other blockchains to the same degree that Quant is aiming for. there is great value in what they do, and they have their positioning to really execute on that and go mainstream, which a few other projects do, going back to the CEO and his connections to the UK government. So if you've made it to the end, I want to thank you for your time. I have certainly enjoyed learning about the Quant Network. Please don't forget to like and subscribe so that you can receive notifications when the new videos come out. Have a great rest of your day, my friends.